What's up, real ones? It's your host, Rueben. I don't dodge the tough questions, and I'm never afraid to speak the truth. If you're new here, welcome. We celebrate stories, unpack the hard stuff, and talk about the things that actually shape us. So take a breath and lean in. This is Getting Real. Getting Real. Getting Real.
What is up, you guys? Welcome to the next episode of Getting Real. I wanted to start off today's episode with the idea of judging a book by its cover, right? And I think that, it's a hallmark card to say that, but I think the reality of it all is that we do judge books by the cover because we're human, right? But I think it's what we do after that judgment, right? Is do we reflect on it and do we kind of change our outlook, or do we stick by it? And that's what kind of separates the good humans from the great humans, if you will, right? The ones that are able to navigate that journey, whether it be in their head or with their circles that they find themselves with. So today I just wanted to take the beginning of the podcast to kind of relate it back to why I even started this whole thing, which is maybe we do judge the book by its cover, but today and every episode I bring to you guys, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Music, it's important that we at least digest the conversations that we're having so that we get to know the guests a little bit more and put ourselves in their shoes and realize that we may have judged them based on the cover, but there's a lot more, inside and innate to these humans. And a lot of them are of high caliber with a huge following. And there's a reason for that, right? So anyway, before I continue to ramble on, let's get a word from one of our sponsors. This episode of Getting Real with Rueben is sponsored by Luis Guajardo with E Mortgage Capital. He is a mortgage lender and he knows his stuff. So if you want killer rates, if you want someone who's going to understand you, more importantly, and the process, then you need to contact Luis Guajardo with E Mortgage Capital. He is amazing. Thanks again, Luis. All right, so today's episode I am super excited about. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, I have a bazillion note cards in front of me. These two women are a force to be reckoned with. We are in the same industry, so I can say that. They are two women that I look up to as far as their tenacity and their work ethic. And lately, they've been kind of taking the world by storm, and we're going to get into that. We're going to dig deeper. We're going to figure out who they are at their core. So without further ado, I'm excited to welcome the Real Estate Dolls. Is that how people introduce you guys now? Just Real Estate Dolls. Like, you're not Jamie, Sandra. No. Anyway, so Jamie, nice to have you here. It's so weird to do this because we've been chatting off camera.
And we know each other.
Yes, and we know. Yeah. So, okay, welcome. First off, I know this is not your first interview. So before we dig into the Real Estate Dolls, what's the whirlwind been like? I know y'all been in New York. You were just in San Diego. You were in Dallas recently. I saw you with Chris Sapphire. So what is that like? I already kind of figure I know the answer, but like, I know it's new, but what is it? What's going on inside?
It's 4 months new.
Yeah.
March 18th, we posted our first video, and it was like it's a whirlwind. It's another fun thing, full time on top of our full time job.
Yeah. This is a lot to juggle.
A lot, yeah.
So whose idea was it though to film the video? I've already watched all the podcasts and the interviews, so I know.
Oh, you know the game, yeah.
Just for those of you that are just listening for the first time.
So the luxury summit we were at,
which I remember. Side note, I remember we chatted twice before the seminar started, and it was very chill vibes. It was kind of like, what are we getting ourselves into? And then I spoke to you, I think after lunch, and you were like, oh my gosh, like I need to do video more. And then so when I heard in an interview that's where it came from, I was like,
where it was.
I was kind of a part of it.
So when I think of that, I think of you because we spoke about it that day. Because I remember thinking like, okay, like I'm a broker now. I always I stayed away from video. Like I want to do video. So yeah, it came from that. And I told her after that, that day, I'm going to start doing video and start doing, luxury home tours and working clients differently and all that. So it kind of essentially came from that. And then she had the idea of coining us the Real Estate.
I know that story, but for those of us that don't know, how did that come?
Well, I know you've been doing videos forever. I used to watch your podcast before, and so I've been following you forever, and so I know everybody should be doing video, but I hate being on camera. And I was supposed to go to the luxury summit, and there's no way I would have made it in the morning. They should have it at 5 p.m. So
it was early.
Yeah, because I spoke with you and saw everybody there, and it was great. And I thought, okay, and so when she said we need to start doing videos, well, she was just going to do it. And I thought, okay, I guess I need to do it too. And I said, we should do it together. And I said, but we can't just do, what everybody else is doing. We got to do something different. We got to stand out because everybody's doing the same videos. And Mark Anthony Ball had been on the Cincinnati Board of Realtors podcast about social media.
Yeah.
And he had kind of mentioned, just start doing it, just do something that fits yourself and just start posting because you can plan it out forever and you just got to start doing it. Just turn the camera on and do it. So I told Cassandra, well, I was like, we have to brand ourselves as we should call ourselves the real estate dolls. And I had heard Let's Just Massacre calling, saying the dolls all the time. And I was like, what's all this dolls, the dolls, the dolls? And I really didn't know that was the new term for trans. I love it. And I thought, well, we're the real estate dolls. And Cassandra.
Well, were you up in Luke?
Yeah, I was like, no, girl, like lowbrow, like I'm not, no, like that's not my brand. And like, I'm a rich white housewife.
What do you mean?
Yeah, swearing. But yeah, I thought, she's like, no, let's just do it. Like, we market ourselves together. And when we were with our old brokerage, we were always together, although we worked independently. So, I just thought, well, you know what? It'll be easier for us to do it together because we do everything together anyways.
Yep.
So, okay, like whatever, girl, let's just do it.
You're like, in the back of her mind, I'm thinking, you're like, look, this probably ain't gonna work. But like,
yeah, we'll just do videos and it'll be
like for contrary.
On March 18th, by the third house we filmed, because we did 3 houses that day. The first one was.
I remember, I remember the day it was posted, and I remember being like, oh my god, and I didn't even.
And to watch that video is so cringe.
Really?
So it's like what were we do?
For me, I think that that's what makes it work, right? Like I think that because it is truly who you are.
Yeah.
I can call a spade. I know when there are videos that I do that it's kind of like, well, I'm just going to do this video because my clients now see that I did it for everybody else, right?
Yeah, you have to pull.
But then there are those videos that are just you. And and they're just you because it hits because everyone's like, oh, that's the Jamie I know, or that's the Cassandra I know,
Yeah.
And I think that going back on, I'm not going to say any names, but golly, if I see one more video of someone disappearing off camera or jumping into a house or running around a house, like I think people need to take a note out of your book. And whether you're in real estate or not, geez Louise, because and I think that I pulled away. This came up because it was like, if I do how do I stand out? Like I'm tired of doing, the same old real estate tours, and those are cool. We need them, right? We need to show the houses. But what you guys are doing is so much better because it gives us a little bit of you're giving us luxury, number one. You're giving us houses that not everyone sees.
Right.
But like we're finally actually getting to see y'all's personality because for so long, which we'll talk about in a second, I almost feel like we were and I say we, but like a lot of us feel pigeonholed into like this bubble that we have to be. And now I feel like y'all are kind of paving the way to be like, no, look, like we can do whatever the hell we want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People tell us that a lot, that they feel like they know us already because they see us on camera so much. And when you're scrolling through and watching videos and doing that, a lot of times you're in your private space, so we're there with them. So yeah, people tell us that a lot. Like, oh, I feel like when we meet someone, we're like, hi, I'm Cassandra, I'm Jamie. Like, yeah, I know who y'all are, because they watch.
You're like, oh, I'm a celebrity.
So everyone calls her Miss Jamie, so that's why she on the video she says Miss Jamie.
Okay.
And for my entire life, no one could say my last name. The school I went to and all that, it was always Alicia, and it's pronounced Alicia. So I thought, well, I'm gonna say my whole name because this is my chance to tell people this is how you say my name. Yeah. So now I meet random strangers like Cassandra Alicia, and I'm like,
and Miss Jamie.
Yeah, and like no one's ever been able to say that name. My whole 40.
Yeah, 40 you tried, like you told them, but like now it's you got reintroduced to the world that way, so that's how they learned you.
That's how they learned.
And so Jamie, you were in real estate first, and then Cassandra, you got your license
exactly 1 year later.
Okay,
yeah, and our renewal dates are the same day.
Wait, really?
1 year.
Oh, exactly. Oh, you know what? I think I heard you say that on Chris's podcast.
Oh,
okay. So let's go back because the whole point of this conversation today is to make sure that we see you on camera, we know who the real estate dolls are. We know who y'all are. Mm-hmm. But, like, I feel like we're doing an injustice to just everyone in general. Like, yeah, you go on podcasts and you've done your videos, but, like, we don't know who you are. We don't know that. I know that you went to Clark High School. I know your story. We've had a long conversation, years ago. But I kind of want to just dabble in that because I feel like, not by fault of you, but because you've been taken up like a whirlwind, there you haven't really been able to say, okay, let's go back to basics and really get more people to fall in love with you, because I think stories are what matter. I think stories are what builds you. I think stories are what gets you more clients, because people feel like they know you even more. So what got this friendship connected? Like, what were you? Oh God!
Oh no, nothing crazy.
Yeah, you're like, we actually hated each other.
No, we met when we were teenagers, and we were just talking about it recently. Like, who introduced us? Was it our friend Little Ariel? And we say Little Ariel because there was 2 Ariels. So was it Little Ariel? Was it Tennille? Was it Taryn? Like, so we met through one of our friends, probably Carissa, right? You said we don't even know because it was 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Have a lot of
That's
really
so
good...
strange. So y'all met when y'all were like one.
Yeah.
We used to hang around a lot of the same girls.
Okay.
So we have a lot of mutual friends, Taryn and Carissa, and old school friends of ours, Ariel, and just a bunch of old friends so I'm not sure exactly how we met, but we met through mutual friends.
Okay.
Probably at someone's apartment or something.
Yeah, or at the Wild
Club.
Yeah. Back in the mid-90s, there wasn't as many places to go. So the Wild Club is where
everybody would go.
Okay.
The Wild Club, and it's like back then it was the Paper Moon before it was the Saint.
Oh, okay.
Before it was
before with the Saint?
It was called Paper
Moon. Yeah, that's where I started going to the Paper Moon.
What?
The
I
whole
never knew
strip
that.
were knockout.
Like the original Saint right next to the Heat.
That was the Paper Moon.
It was the Paper Moon. And then there was another club that you had to drive to because it wasn't close.
Okay.
Not far, but you could.
It just wasn't there, yeah.
And that was the Wild Club, which was amazing.
Where the electric company is. I don't know.
Wow, I don't know where it's at, but I know the electric
down the
like San Pedro, but
so we don't know if we met there or not, but we were friends and through everyone, and we hung out, and we just knew each other from back then.
She was like 17 when I met her.
Yeah, I went to the club when I was 17. I used my friends' ID to get in.
Yeah.
It was like a few months from my 18th birthday.
What? Yeah, okay, so that y'all were in a friend group together.
Yeah,
and then y'all just hit it off.
The scene was a little smaller, so everyone knew each other.
Annoying.
Yeah.
Exhausting, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Right? For many different reasons.
I mean, it was great because there was not the mid-90s.
Well, yeah, so
there was no social media. There were no cameras. There were no...
You could live.
Yeah.
A baby.
Oh, yeah. We were all crazy, and we all had so much fun together. All the girls, like, we love them, and, we all went our separate ways at some point because, that's life.
Takes you.
Yeah.
So then talk to me about, because I kind of know y'all's upbringing, but y'all are from 2 different parts of the world, essentially, right? In San Antonio, speaking, right?
Yeah.
So you grew up on what part of town?
Almost the west side, over by, like, Culebra and Callahan.
Okay. And what high school did you? Well, what school district were you in?
I didn't go to high school.
Yeah, but school district, like, wise.
I should have gone to Holmes High School.
Holmes, okay. So just for people listening, they kind of get an idea, right?
Yeah.
And then you were in the Clark district or Northside.
Yeah, on the border of it. Yeah, Northside School. Yeah, so I grew up out towards Bernie, like in the Fair Oaks.
So which is why, that's your stomping ground still to this day, right?
Yeah, I still live where I grew up. Yeah. I grew up out there. I didn't know I didn't look like everyone else until probably 5th grade. Like I thought, I go to school with all these white kids. Yeah, like I didn't realize like we were poor and I was not white, and everybody I went to school with was rich. I lived right off of the Dominion.
Oh, okay.
So all my friends lived in the Dominion, like so I just thought, not until I started getting older, I hang out with them at their house, then come home and I'm like,
you're like, wait,
it's different. Something's a little different here.
I don't want to have to share the bathroom with you.
Yeah. Like, why does our heater have to be turned on with the thing? And we're poor, Yeah, but so I grew up over there.
Okay, so then as y'all evolved and like you said, life kind of takes you. Y'all have stayed constant in your lives for the most part.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Like hung out. Did our own things, hung out, everything. She moved to Vegas for a while. I visited her once. Yeah, she was lived in Vegas for a long time.
I did not know that about you.
I lived in Vegas for 7 years.
Shut you.
Yes, when the housing market crashed way back. You're too young to remember.
I know. I've done a lot of research on it, though.
Okay.
No, but that's played.
A lot of research.
I don't want to make y'all feel old, but I was.
We're probably closer to your parents' age than
they know younger.
Well, so back in 2007 and 2008, the market started to crash because people were. You know what they were doing? I bought a house in Vegas because what they were doing is they were offering zero money down.
Oh yeah, and they didn't even check not a damn thing.
They would check.
It's like a car.
They would still.
Yeah.
They would still check credit, but it was like, okay, yeah, you're good. And
yeah.
No money down, and it was 100% interest. And they were telling you, like at the new model homes, they would say, oh yeah, just get this house, no money down, sign here, and in 2 years refinance. So in 2 years, everybody's trying to refinance, and you can't,
right?
Because there's no equity because you've been paying 100% interest. And so everybody was foreclosing. And right when I saw the prices start to go down, I was like, oh my God, I need to sell my house like right now. So I sold my house that I had bought in Vegas right before the market crashed. And then I moved back to Texas shortly after.
Wow. Oh, okay.
They're for 7 years.
And so I would imagine now y'all are family, your sisters, obviously. And I'm very big on, your chosen family, depending on your situation, sometimes they're
their only family,
right? Yeah. So talk to me about your upbringing. Talk to me about, do both of you have a similar situation as far as, are you close with family? Do you have siblings? Or is it opposite?
No, we both are similar in the sense that our families are very accepting. Like, I'm close with all my family. My family's never like shunned me, or I've never had an issue with family after transitioning or anything. So, my mother still lives with me. I live around family. Like, they've always been in my life.
Yeah.
And I think that makes an impact that we don't see until years down the road, when people who live a different experience at the same time end up in a different place. And I mean, she has been with her family the whole time, like good with her family. I don't have any siblings. She does.
Which is why you have a million dogs.
Which is why I have a lot of dogs filling a hole.
Yeah. You're like, I never had a brother or sister.
Like, I want to be loved.
Yeah. So you sleep with all of them, like Ani, right?
Most of them.
Really?
Yeah. So, sometimes it's not all 8.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, at least 4 at all
Not
times.
8. Do you know what I mean? Mine's like, yeah, one's on the floor. One, no.
No, yeah. It's usually 5 or 6. Sometimes 4 or 5.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So like, I sleep all chwet the whole night. Like, it's.
No, I wonder why when you walked in, you were
I mean, I have to move them and be like, okay, guys, like, give me a little room here.
And they're like what? Like not.
They're little. Yeah. The youngest ones are puppies still, so they're small.
They're not that. They're little.
Yeah, like
They're small.
Hey, you
I
sent her a
remember-
video the other day of the dogs just because I had just switched the video quality on my phone and I wanted her to see it. And they were like, "Oh, you can film in this quality," and she's like, "Girl, no, how do you sleep with all that?" Because I just did the dogs on the bed.
They're all around her. Oh, cool.
I told her, I was like, you're the cat lady, but like dogs. Oh, yeah.
Dogs, yeah. She's the dog lady.
And you don't have any pets, are you?
No, I'm never home.
I was gonna say, you get very like, I don't got time for that. Like
I would just feel bad because
they're on
I
their own.
really like cats, but I
Okay.
wouldn't want them to be like by themselves.
Yeah. Well, if anything, cats are the ones. Cats are the ones.
They do, I just feel like it's a big responsibility, and I love pets.
Yeah, you love to love on them, and
I didn't used to love dogs as much as I do now. Now they're so cute, but because my niece and nephew had a cute little dog, and so I didn't grow up with dogs.
Okay.
So was never really around them, but I like dogs, I like cats, I like them all. But I just not for me.
Okay.
How people say like kids are not for me, like other people's kids. Like I like other people's.
Okay.
Kids.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Do you have pets?
I do have 2. Yeah. Dogs.
I shouldn't know. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay. So when I talk about, it's funny that you both mentioned it, because I wasn't even going that way, but now that you're saying it, because when I was asking about family, you mentioned, oh well, they were very accepting. They didn't shun us or whatever. It brought a question to my mind of like, is that a topic of conversation that you guys have often, like when you're talking to people, is like, oh yeah, like, well, because we're trans women, like, is that a part of your identity? And whether that's good or bad, I don't even know if I'm overstepping and asking that, but you know what I mean? Is that annoying to you, or is that something you hold with a back?
Yeah, because it has a part in, it plays a part in many parts of our lives.
Yeah.
So many people, trans women will come up to us and tell us that they've been disowned, or they're not close to their families, their mothers don't talk to them, their families, or brothers, sisters, whoever. And so we're very fortunate, I mean, I transitioned as a kid. Started when I was like 10 years old, and like full time since I was 14. And I'm lucky that my family supports me, but I had to force it on them. I had to force it on everybody. I had to force it on the school. I had to force it on my family, on friends. And I lost friends.
Yeah.
Some of my childhood friends, their parents wouldn't let them talk to me.
Wow.
And so, kids that I grew up with,
Yeah.
and on my street. And so, I've lost friends. I lost adult friends.
Yeah.
And so, people ask us all the time, but I think that we're very fortunate that our families are supportive.
I think that's what's interesting, is that I think because I'm around you guys, I've been around you guys, I've heard just some of your story before, and I think that's what throws people off, where everyone's kind of like, wait, what? Like, it was easier for you? Like, when you're speaking right now, obviously we know of an older generation, of a different generation, that wasn't normal then.
No.
It's more normal now.
Yeah, much more normal.
Like, I went to my high school to do like a presentation, and there were little boys, like maybe, I don't know, freshman to senior year, one of them, and they were walking around, I mean, full glam makeup, like, and no one is batting an eye to them. Not that that's a great thing. I'm like, I wish it was like that when I was in school, because let me tell you, it was not easy for me. No. But wow, it just, I don't know, I had that epiphany right now. I'm like, oh wow, I wouldn't know, but like, for me, I know it's not the same, but as a gay man, I kind of, sometimes, I'll be honest, if I'm in an interview and people are like, oh, so growing up when you came out, I'm like, well, yeah, like I love that story because it helps people. But at the same time, I'm like, God, I'm more than that. Can we talk about all the other shit I've done? You know what I mean?
I get it.
But it's a different thing because for, at least I would imagine it's different because for me, it's more internally for me. Well, for you guys, it was a change in your identity, essentially, like aesthetically, right?
Yeah.
But you've always been who you are. But I guess because it's top of mind when people look at you and you know what I mean?
It becomes more of our identity in public and in the culture. And I feel like, at least for me, before the real estate dolls, I would forget sometimes, like I live in a little bubble, I go to my little HEB and I just do my thing. But because we're doing what we're doing and we have so many conversations with people who follow us online, and the topics of the conversation, this comes up more. So now I'm more aware that the trans thing, the identity is more of a thing. Yeah. So, and for a good reason, what I mean? So, but yeah, it's always part of who we are, what I mean? Like, I think it's probably better in my case that I be reminded that sometimes, because I'm in my late 40s, so I just lived my whole life like this. So I just forget, like, oh yeah, I forgot. And like, I'm different. Like, I'm trans. I totally forgot. Like, that's why people are maybe viewing me differently. And she'd be like, well, girl, you're not, like.
Do you feel that way? Because I feel like I go through that sometimes in a different way.
Do you mean go through?
Like, meaning like, oh shit, I forgot. Like, I have to be more aware.
I really like being trans.
Yeah. Like, this is your gig. Like, you found your spot.
I have always loved it. And I like to put it, like, I guess, I like for people to know.
Yeah.
I like for people to know. I like for people to see it. I like for people to get used to it and get over it. And I feel like if I never forget.
Okay.
And I like for everyone to know, because I just always thought, I guess when I was young, I thought I was the only one. And I felt like a weirdo. And I thought, why me? And I would cry myself to sleep at night and like pray that I would just wake up, a boy or a girl, just pick one. Like, I cannot, like, I can't go through life this way. But why me? And then when I met other trans people, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not the only one. And I was like, I'm not the only weirdo. I'm kidding. So no, we're not, but we're not, we're just like everyone.
They were like your guiding light. Well, essentially, like, because you realize, okay, well, there's an option here.
I'm like, oh, so it's not just me. I'm like, thank goodness. And so then I realized, what, people, since I hadn't seen any, that means nobody else had seen any trans people or didn't know them. And of course, it's not our job as LGBT people or trans people to save the world or to educate the world.
Although in a lot of our cultures, we feel that way, at least for me. But I'll let you.
Yeah, like it's not our job to save the world or to educate the world on trans or LGBT issues. But I personally feel, unless we want to, I feel good about putting myself out there so that other people can have it easier. Because there's kids out there or people probably like me that don't know any others. And so unless you see someone, you feel alone.
Yeah. You feel seen. Do you, for either of you, do you feel like going back to like real estate? And I'll give you an example. When I started in real estate, it was end of 2019, and the Rueben that everyone sees on camera and what y'all have seen is still Rueben, but it's a little bit heightened, right? Like, I'm not this loud and bubbly on a daily because I'm exhausted, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, right, it's just a heightened version. Yeah. But my point though is that I've always been that way, but then I got in real estate, and when I got in real estate, I felt like it was a male dominated. It felt like on my end, from my perception, that it was a very like machismo, male dominated industry. And I always thought, God, if I was a woman, this would be easier because there's not many of us, and I would stand out. Like, I would be the bombest bitch, you know what I mean?
But I got that lipstick.
But then I was like, so I would go to these events, and now I don't go to any of those damn events anymore. But like the real estate ones, the heavy ones. But I would go and I would find myself like not talking, but if someone talked to me, I was like, yeah, my name's Rueben. Like, trying to change who I was, which is not who I am at my core. Yeah. But for some reason, this little switch would turn on and I would change. And so then I realized very quickly, I was like, wait a second, that's what kind of catapulted me into doing video and things, because I was like, well, I don't feel comfortable going to those events and like putting myself out there that way. So let me be comfortable, to your point, by myself with the camera, COVID times, and that's how I can introduce myself to the world. So I don't have to be someone I'm not. Yeah. Do you feel in the real estate space that it was ever a hurdle for you guys now talking about the trans thing? Like,
Yeah.
whether it be client-wise or other agents?
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah. Like when I first started, so I came from hair and makeup and I owned a salon that got shut down. I moved to cosmetics, real estate, retail cosmetics. And I was a third key manager at MAC. All that wore me out. Was done. Time for a new start. So I thought, well, I'm going into like the mainstream world. Let me tone it down. So I would not put on as much makeup. Like I have different versions of my makeup. You really can't tell much of a difference except for the big lash I have on today. But like, so it was like no lashes, not as much foundation, not heavy eyeshadow, like a nude or a much more nude lip. That was what I thought I had to be like. Don't make the hair too big. Make sure the wig isn't like a crazy one, that whole thing. And then I was like, I took my first pictures for my business card. I'm like, that doesn't look like, and I just quickly learned like, oh, I better just be by myself, because you start to feel like, who is this person I'm projecting and who I'm giving to everyone else? And people can sense that, disingenuous vibe. So I just thought, you know what, I better just be by myself. And then once I did that, everything started like
coming to you.
Yeah, you just attract what you're supposed to so quickly. There was a short period of time, and then she was with the company one whole year before me, so
you were the introduction.
When I got into real estate, I thought, and no shade against any. There's so many great brokerages, and it's a different fit for everyone. It's just my experience and my opinion, but I thought I was going to go to Keller Williams because I thought, I know there's a lot of gay people there, and I'll fit in there. And then I thought, no, I need to stand out. I'm just going to blend in if I go somewhere where there's a lot of gay people. I need to go somewhere where they're straight and white.
I'm trying to be the token here.
So I said, I'm going to go to, and I grew up watching Deanne Harper on TV, and I remember her doing all these charity events, and I just remember thinking, like, she's such a fascinating businesswoman. And I thought, she's strong, and I thought, I knew her reputation was good, and people thought highly of her, and I thought, that's where I'm going to go to Coldwell Banker, but I'm going to have to go in and just pretend to be a lady, and I'm going to... So I'm not going to say anything. We're just going to hope that I get,
cover up. They're like, how do you like real estate?
Like I'm such an lady, and and so I didn't say anything, and they didn't ask. I don't even think they knew, and I just think, of course, they sponsored me, and I thought, okay, and it was cool, and then kind of people start talking, and which is fine. I mean, I put it out there that I was trans. I wasn't trying to hide it, but in the beginning I did, because I thought I need to get my foot in the door, and then I'll let the cat out of the bag. And so, but everybody welcomed us. They were so nice, and Lisa Harper Rispoli is so great, and Deanne,
the best ever. Really. That's why we never left. Like, there was no reason to leave. Other than
we were gonna get our broker.
Yeah, there was no reason to leave Coldwell Banker, because it was like home. We had the best broker ever.
The first during training, you get to meet Deanne Harper, and she walks in, and she's like God herself walked in, and like, oh my God, we're meeting Deanne, and so she's a legend in San Antonio, and so she said the best thing that I thought was amazing. She rides a motorcycle, she hunts, she does all this stuff, and she asked all the girls in the room. She's like, "Okay, ladies." She's like, this is going to be a tough job. You're gonna have a lot of busy hours and a lot of whatever. You're going to be successful. And she's like, if your husband or your man doesn't support you in this, then you're going to have to ask yourself, is he the right man for you?
That's cool. And that's when you knew you're like, on staying here. That's cool.
I was like, wow, and she's amazing, and Lisa too, and the whole family. They were nothing but supportive of us.
It's such a breath of fresh air just hearing you guys, because there's so many ways that could go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in all brokerages, really. I don't think any in San Antonio, I hope not. And I'm looking at the camera right now, so watching, because I hope not. I've heard some stories about some brokerages, but we'll talk off camera. But no. But in seriousness, it's like, to your point, there's the Keller Williams that are the big box, and it's like the shiny place to go because everyone goes there. No one thinks Coldwell Banker immediately when they're like the diamond in the rough. You know what I mean? Like they're their own brand, right? And then you have now, like I can speak on it because I'm a part of it. You have the cloud brokerages, right? Like Rio and LPT and EXP, and those have their advantages and disadvantages as well. I'm learning. So
They all
they all do, right? But the cool thing is that you found your core, you found your people, and I would imagine you still work with the same agents. Or you kind of still meet up with them? And
we still communicate Facebook.
Exactly.
Yeah, one of my first deals after leaving was with one of my office mates. She brought the buyer to one of my listings.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so now let's get it. So we talked about a little bit about, personal. We've talked a little bit about real estate, but I really want to go back to the dolls because, well, this is why you're very But I it's fascinating to me, and I use it as, I don't know if you're a real estate agent or in the industry, if you're not, but for me, I think it would be easy for let me rewind. I'll give you an example before I say what I'm about to say. When I started in real estate, I was known as, and I'm not making this up because it came to me from many parts of the industry, that I was the social media kid. I was too young, or there were times I would go to interviews with clients and they were interviewing agents and they had interviewed others and they had asked, who else are you interviewing? And when my name was brought up, the agent would tell the client, oh yeah, he just does social media. He doesn't really know much about real estate. So when those things would come back to me, the clients have no reason to lie to me. They're like, well, we went with you, but we're just nervous because XYZ, right? So I say that, I preface with that because sometimes in an industry in sales where we are taught that there's enough business for everyone, right? Mm-hmm. However, not everyone walks that way and talks that way and moves that way. And so it's nice because I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I've told you this before. I've told you when me saying like, oh, I'm inspired by you guys is because what you are accomplishing, I don't even know if you realize this, what you are accomplishing is what little Rueben tried in 2019 and is still attempting to create a community, right? Mm-hmm. And you did it so fast. And it's easy for a real estate agent or a broker to look at what you guys are doing and saying, well, what the fuck? Like, I'm better than them. And but I see of like, oh my gosh, they figured it out. And what you figured out was the authenticity.
That's what I was just going to say.
And that's what fuels me when I feel like I get lost. You know what I mean? When I feel like I'm trying to just keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
And then it truly, no shitting you, Dom can tell you, my producer is behind the camera, I had talked about this podcast for months. Then the real estate dolls popped off. I think it may have been about 2 weeks after real estate dolls were kind of a thing. And finally Dom was like, Rueben, he texted me out of nowhere. He's like, Rueben, you met with me months ago. You haven't, are we doing this or not? Like, did you want to do this? Because if so, we got to do it, to your point of filming. And so I say that to you guys because I think people tell you all the time, but coming from someone who's in a kind of a similar space as you guys, mm-hmm. not as big, but a similar space, what you guys are doing is amazing. Like, amazing in a sense of like, no one could replicate it, which is fantastic. but it also just paves the way and creates that lane. Do you feel, now that you're doing the real estate dolls, do you feel like is that brought to your attention a lot? Do you forget that? Is it something that you hold? Is it something you carry that you feel like responsible for?
I think so. People have told us that, and we talk about it a lot. Like, it just happened, and it happened so quickly, and what appears to be so easily. But we joke about it a lot. The reason is because we're both trans and we sell real estate. We're in a professional space and it's not the norm. People in the city, in the industry and out of the industry have gotten kind of used to it because, everyone,
right.
We go to new construction. Oh, yeah. I remember you. But now that we're visible on social media, I'm not gonna say worldwide, but in other spaces other than San Antonio, it's like such a shock that's why it has taken off so quickly and so easily, on top of the fact that we're just being ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. So I think we've had this conversation with different people recently. Like, you just have to be you. Mm-hmm. Like, whatever's authentic, just do that. Whatever. There's no replicating what we're doing. There's no replicating what I can't do, what you're going to do, because that's not who I am. Yeah. So you can really feel the energy of someone's like doing what they're supposed to do rather than doing them. So I think that's the biggest part of it. And we joke about it because it's just like, we're just trans. Like, we're transgender women and that's it. So with that comment when we were on the phone last night driving home, the real estate dolls did nothing, but yet I'm.
But somebody commented on one of our TikToks saying they did nothing, and I'm still in awe.
That was my next question. Is that like, do y'all get hate online?
Oh no, but that was like he was.
Yeah.
No, he really meant like these people are in awe of us, even though we're just selling real estate.
Yeah, but like we're just making a house tour, but yeah. So we laugh about that. It was like, yeah, we're just we're
literally just doing our job.
Yeah.
It's the reason is that trans people are stereotyped into categories of what society thinks we should do, like hair and makeup or entertainment and all that, which are great. That's great, and some people are great at that, and we're great at a lot of things. But trans people can do anything like anyone else. But a lot of opportunities are not out there for trans people. So when we run into people, and even all the people on TikTok and Instagram and all over the world and over the country that are watching us, it's so shocking because they just can't believe that trans women in Texas, of all places, can do this.
Which is so badass.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I forget about, oh shit, we're in Texas.
Those things are what I said earlier is what I forget. Like, I grew up here. I've lived in the same area my whole life that I forget sometimes isn't like an area that people like us would live in, but it's just where I grew up. Yeah, so I forget those things because it just seems so normal.
But on that note, before you got here, Jamie, you quickly talked about, she's like, oh, LA is my gig. Like, I love it there.
Jam.
But it's because it makes you feel different than where you came from, because that's what it's like in other parts of the world. Yeah. But because we're used to it, it's like, oh, this is the normal. You know what I mean? Which is crazy to think, right? Which is why, like, how I feel about Austin. Like, Austin, I mean, I went to college there, so, like, that's why I feel like it's a second.
I mean, it's another world in Austin.
But it's a different world.
But
like,
a whole other universe.
That is, like, there. It doesn't matter if you're orange, black, purple, green, yellow, rainbow, trans, gay, whatever you are. Literally, no one's going to double take at you because they don't give a shit. It's kind of, I guess, like New York would be. I've never been.
I think Vegas is like that.
Vegas is like.
Yeah, Vegas, you could just walk around.
Yeah, like, no one's batting an eye. Now, okay, with the real estate dolls, have you been able to take advantage of anything lately? Like, I mean, I know that you guys are not fucking Beyonce walking around, but in some rooms, you kind of have some pull now.
Somebody just commented on one of our things saying they saw us on the street in San Diego and they acted like they just saw Beyonce, and now when they parked and came to find us, they couldn't find us. And
it's the shocking part is the reaction we get from people. At the very beginning, I was like, what? Like,
no, we were in San Diego, and one of our followers on TikTok has been wanting to meet me and meet us, and we were just walking along on the sidewalk during Pride.
Yeah.
And it was nighttime, and he's coming down the street in his car, and we're trying to figure out where we're going to go next. And he's in his truck, and he's screaming, Jamie, 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 Jamie. And I'm like, where? And he's in his truck, and he's like, oh my God. And he told me his TikTok handle. I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, that's you?
Yeah. And so then.
And it's mayhem everywhere. People are like,
It left his truck parked in traffic, got out, and came over to give me a hug.
He wasn't going to lose the opportunity.
Blocking all the cars.
You're shitting me.
Stopped the traffic to get out.
Okay, so you are Beyonce.
No, it's not. You're just kidding. But I think because we resonate, or we hit a certain point with so many people that when they see us in person, they...
some people just start crying.
Yeah, we've had a lot of
as soon as
that's the thing that I'm like, why? It's just us, you know what I mean? Like,
well, going back to what your point was, is like they didn't feel seen. They didn't feel like whether they're trans or not. It's I saw myself in you somehow.
And people appreciate how they feel of what we've been told, at least, that we're putting ourselves out there for everyone else who feels like they can't do that, or that they're not seeing, or so
they don't feel safe doing that.
They don't feel safe, and so I guess we probably give a lot of people comfort in the feeling of safety to be themselves, and
let the dolls do it.
Let the dolls doll.
And because we're old school, we like I transitioned in the mid '90s, and we come from that era. It was different back then, so it's like, oh, who cares?
It was hard back then.
Like been there, done that, and now y'all got a little bit easier. So like,
there's drama going on now, but it's just gonna swing the other way, and it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. You've seen the cycle. You've seen this plenty of times.
It will be fine.
Yeah. Okay, so going off of what I was thinking about earlier was like, okay, so you've gone to like places where there's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I know y'all mentioned in another interview you had gone to I believe it was like a nightclub or a bar. You had like a VIP, and then y'all just kind of walked and skedaddled and wanted to do your own thing, and they were like, absolutely not.
New York.
You can't do that anymore. Have you felt? Did you since then? I'm sure you're more aware of it. Since then, have you thought like, oh shit, like I probably shouldn't be going and doing this thing by myself or anything like that.
I'll do
Not yet.
that.
Not here, I would imagine.
No, here, no, yeah.
Same with Luscious, and people. I
True.
think people know. They get excited and they wanna say hi and hug you, and we're fine with that, and Luscious is fine with that. I think people you expect it, and you're okay with it. You're prepared. We're prepared.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother us, and I don't think if there's haters out there. There aren't, but if there were, if a hater wanted to get someone, they're gonna find a way.
They're gonna get you too, no matter what. That's true. It's true. Speaking of Luscious, Luscious, if you're watching this, I might need you on my show. But do you? What other friends have you made? Obviously, you've known Luscious, I would imagine, or did y'all connect?
We just met her because of this. Yeah,
I saw that
she
She messaged us to say she was going to be in San Antonio and we should get together. And so then we met her at Christy Waters' birthday party.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So that recording that you see of us, that first thing, was the first day we actually met up in person, but we had been communicating for a while.
Okay.
And it was recorded actually a month before it was released because, of course, she has all her stuff planned. So, yeah.
Yeah.
She's so nice. She's just that kind of person. She's amazing. She's so funny. Yeah.
Okay,
And it's funny,
Like what you see is what you get.
Yeah. And people ask us too, they're like I saw you online, but like, can I get a picture with you? Like, I know, like, I'm not sure what you're really like in real life. I'm like, we're like this.
Yeah.
We're
It's
nice.
funny because you say that because I think Jamie, I think I met you before I met Cassandra.
Yeah.
And when I tell you I was intimidated by this woman,
Well, the people are intimidated.
I don't even know why. I don't know, it was your aura or whatever. And I think it was when we were, gosh, I don't even know what it was about, but she called me, and I remember I was still baby agent-ish, right? So I remember I saw her call, like, I think we had text, and she was like, I'll call you or something like that. And then the phone started ringing. I was like, oh my God, like, what am I? And this is before the real estate dolls, so I was land from before. No, but yeah, so it does lean itself to that probably too, the fact that like, yeah, you guys are very relatable, but like you also have the aura in the most welcoming way possible of like, look, don't fuck with me. You know what I mean? But in the night,
Probably have a lot of that energy.
but respectfully, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, like we ain't gonna fuck with them because they look like they could make me feel this big. You know what I mean? But when you need to, right? Okay, so going to taking advantage, if you will, is there, like, going back to that, is there anything that you guys have gotten offered where it's like, oh my God, we get to go do this? Like, I know y'all went to San Diego and you'll had cool gigs like that, but more so as your name starts getting bigger, if they haven't yet, I'm sure you're gonna be sent opportunities that maybe are undeniable or like you can't really say no to it. You don't have to say it now. This episode isn't going to air till probably September-ish. But is there anything in the works that you're like, oh man, this might come through? Like it's going to be something that we never thought we would have the opportunity to do?
I mean, not particularly.
Okay.
I think there's things in the works.
Yeah.
But it may take time. Like everything.
Yeah.
But we're kind of just
just living it.
It's so fast. Things are so fast, and people reach out to us all the time. And...
Yeah, people reach out just right away about, like wanting to talk with us about like whatever possibilities, but that had happened before this, right? So that was already kind of a thing. Like, oh yeah, we'll do that again. So it's happened, many times.
And you're like been there, done that. It maybe didn't pan out, and so
I would just see what I think this time we're more aware, like cognizant of like, okay, we're gonna have more control and ownership of the image and the brand. So we're just
and priorities because like now you're like, I'm a real estate agent. That's how I put money on the table until that maybe changes at some point. But you know what I mean? Like, you're never going to leave your passion of real estate because
that's our business. Yeah, we own our own companies doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pivot a little bit. What is your goal with both of your brokerages, right? Because that's the whole point of bringing you on too. Like, there are going to be people that hear and listen to this that are real estate agents that decide, you know what, like, I want to go with their brokerages. What deciphers the two different brokerages, and or do you guys collaborate and say, hey, I have this agent that reached out. I don't think it's going to be a fit for me, but it may be a fit for you, vice versa. Is that how this dynamic works, or is it just kind of like we're kind of together walking this path?
Kind of, yeah. Our agents are like our clients. Like there's a certain group that gravitates to me, and the same with her.
Oh, cool.
Like, so we've always had different clients, and that's been the case with our agents. Like the agents that just gravitate, or the people who gravitate towards Jamie and want to work with her have done so, and the same with me. So it's just kind of been like that. But we do everything together. Like my newest agent, he had been licensed for a while but never really practiced, so he renewed and then joined, and we were with him all day, so she spent the whole day with us as well, training and filming and doing, and so it's like we're just all there.
You understand that that's rare, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what's so cool about this relationship. I think that's another layer of why people are so obsessed with you. People like me who like I knew you before you were a real estate doll, right? Or even like Christy, right? Like one of your best friends. I think for me, I already knew you, but then hearing the way you run your business is unlike, and no offense to any agent in this city, any broker in the city, like you run it completely different in the most respectful way, because I feel like there's just a lot of shadiness that can happen in any industry that goes on behind the scenes. And you're like, when you meet people that are actually doing it from the heart, it kind of is like, oh, hell yeah, like y'all deserve everything you're getting because of that alone. You know what I mean? And I do want to touch on one more thing, is that if you weren't doing real estate, which is kind of hard to imagine yourself not doing, is there another, industry or another route that you've always dreamed of doing that you want to like dabble in at some point?
I mean, I didn't. When I was younger, when I went to college, I was a mass comm major. Like, I wanted to produce and direct. Like, that was my thing. And then, like, life happened, and I got off track, and then went towards the beauty industry and did all that, and then kind of ended up here. So the fact that we're doing this now, and it's gotten us more involved in things that are recorded. It's crazy to think, like, the first couple of months in, I sat there and I thought, oh my God, like, who would have ever known that I'm almost 50? Yeah, like, here I am right back where I thought, like at the beginning. Yeah. So that was my thing. Like, I wanted to be
the video, and
I can't.
You
I
enjoy the
look at anything without. I don't watch a show. I just kind of dissect it. Like, oh, what was the part on that? How long did it take you? Like
when I watch a reality show too.
Oh yeah. Well, we were in Vegas one time with Christy. Went to go see, what was it? It was Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, okay.
She's like, how'd you like it? I'm like, I don't even know how they did it. I didn't watch any of the show. I was like, how? I was looking at the production, and I thought, how in the world did they pull that off? And the stage would raise, and the water would go away, and the synchronizing. I'm like,
meanwhile, she's not open.
Yeah, I was like, what is the training for that? Like the timing and all. That's all I saw. I couldn't tell you what happened in the show. I couldn't tell you the story. I can't watch anything without figuring out how it was made. So I'm not watching anything really. You know what I mean? Like,
I've always been interested in real estate even when I was younger, but I used to do entertainment as girls do, because I had to do what I had to do to survive, and before I got it, but I always wanted to have regular jobs, which I did, and I was fired from jobs because I was trans, or they didn't want me in the restroom or whatever. And so, I was kind of forced into entertainment in order to survive. And so I was doing that, but I really, I wanted to get into real estate when the market right before it crashed in Vegas, because it was booming. And I thought, oh my God, it was kind of like COVID times. Things were booming because they were just giving everybody a house. And so then the market crashed. I thought, okay, this is not the time to get into it. So I waited, and I just thought, who's going to hire me? But who is going to hire a trans person when I can't even get a job? I can't even keep a job at a regular call center. I mean, telemarketing, because they don't want me in the restroom or whatever. They would say I was a distraction to other employees because they're gossiping about me. And so I did entertainment forever, and then which you may know, and I'm just going to say it. So I was diagnosed with HIV in 2017.
Okay.
And so I stopped entertaining, and I thought, this is a time to make a change in my life. And, I'm good. I'm on treatment. I have all the medicine works. I'm great. Like,
we're in 2025, everybody.
So everybody, like, get tested, get treated, whatever. But, I'm good. But I thought, after I got on all my treatment and everything, I thought, okay, I need to make a change in my life and do something better. And I've always wanted to get into real estate, and I'm just going to do it. I've always thought, any of us can do anything that anybody else can do, we can do. And then just like when we were with Coldwell Banker, I thought, you know what, like, we can be the Deanne Harper of our own brokerages. We learn from the best, and now we can be that on our own. We don't have to do what everybody else is doing. We can do anything that we want, if we set our minds to it. You have to work hard.
Absolutely.
You have to like people. You have to have a passion. You can't be lazy for anything in life. And so anything that any of us want to accomplish, we can do. And sometimes if the opportunity is not given to you, you just have to take it. You just have to create and live for yourself. You have to force your way in there.
Do you guys feel like, I guess the hard part here, and I don't think you do, because it seems like the common theme here, but do you feel like, how do I even say this? Do you have like any moments where you look at, let's just say the real estate industry, right? Because that's your core. When you look at the real estate industry, you mentioned it earlier, like it's not my responsibility to save the world.
Mm-hmm.
Is that part of your? And I ask this respectfully, not calling you old, because they're only 31. But like, do you think that that's more of like your generation? Because for me and my generation, I wake up every day thinking I have to save the world. You know what I mean?
When I said that, I meant that I don't think that our community should feel compelled to have to do that.
Right,
because we deserve to just live our lives like everyone else.
Yeah.
So for people that are not doing it, don't feel a need to do it.
Yeah.
You just live your life and don't, this will be all deserved. I like to do that, but it's not our job.
Right.
It's not our job to explain to people. I mean, people have pulled us aside in the mall and like, can you talk to my kids because they've never seen a trans person?
Or want us to coach their kids. But I think also that comes with age, because the older you get, like you're just like.
That's what I think it is too.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm turning 35 next week, and for me, it's kind of like I'm finally like I've been going to therapy now, and like just really learning myself, and like really just becoming who I am in.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation after I went to actually go see Beyonce, Cowboy Carter. It was this life-changing moment for me, and it sounds so silly to say that for Beyonce, but it was that moment I realized like this bitch is a genius, right? But secondly, it was like, okay, she had a decision to make. She either kept being a pop star, or she kept being a pop star and actually stood on business and like tried to make change. And I realized, okay, like that's her superpower. Her superpower is to be Beyonce and touch masses. I realized after that concert that my superpower, I haven't figured it out exactly what it is, but I know what I'm doing here at least. This is just feels like what I was meant to do.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is the end all be all, right?
Yeah.
But I do know that like every day I wake up with like this fire, and I was talking to my therapist about it, and she's like, that's not normal. Like not everyone feels that, but there are a few humans in the world that do feel that. So I say that because I would imagine at your core, that's what you are getting at right now. Like, yeah, I love helping people, and I love being that voice, and I love using this as my superpower.
Yeah.
But if you don't feel like you have a superpower, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay to fall in line or just support in the way that you can support and live your life. Because I would imagine in the trans community specifically, it's like, all right, there's not a lot of us. Like, we got to stand up for the rights, and we got to go to the City Hall, and we got to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I mean, there are people who are doing that. I think we're doing our thing in a different way. Yeah. Just because this is what happened organically, and this is the opportunity that was given to us. So I view it as like, okay, well, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
This is your platform.
And yeah, that's when I said, like, why are people even freaking out or bothered about seeing us in person?
Yeah.
But I realize now, of course, and quickly I realized it was because of a different, deeper reason. So I take that as a responsibility to continue that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So
okay, so we have a couple more minutes left. We have some time that I want to touch on. So let's lighten it up a little bit. Are y'all romantically involved with anyone? Do you have any lovers in your lives?
If you know
right
anyone
now?
over 80, let me know. I'm just kidding.
Over 80, Fair Oaks has 12 more dogs.
Oh no, I'm cool with the dogs.
So not you. What about you, Jamie?
I'm just gonna be honest. Like men and just only want to hook up with trans.
Really?
They don't want to
it's like,
come to their
I
mother.
feel like seen as like a fetish.
Yeah, or well, I'm not even necessarily a fetish. Like a large group of men that like women love trans women as well, but because of societal issues, it's just in their eyes, it's like they're dirty.
We're not
secret.
Yeah.
So they just, they want to handle it a certain way.
Yeah, and there's a lot of nice guys, and no shade. Like I get it. Everybody wants to hook up. It's fine. Like I don't take it personally, but they don't want a serious thing. And that's even just in generations now, the younger generations, they just want to hook up. They don't want to be serious. And that's fine. So I don't waste my time with that.
Good for you.
Yeah, and if there was a nice person that wanted to have a relationship, maybe, but they don't want that.
Yeah.
So you don't want it. I don't want it.
Yeah, and you're owing. Obviously, right now y'all are on y'all's grind. So even then, he would be like, y'all are gonna have to wait because I'm on a mission.
The type of man I want wouldn't have time for me to be there with him all day anyway. So
And what type is that? Rich.
Rich and always at the office.
Yeah, like not even in town, like just on his plane working. Yeah. So
It's like nice guy.
Yeah.
no, I would be in a relationship with anyone as long as they did their own thing, like had their own lives. But I don't have a lot of attention to give to anyone.
Everyone's trying to date us, but we're not dating anyone.
Or there's a lot of all of that, but I just don't have the bandwidth for any of it.
It always goes the same way.
Yeah. It's like been down that road.
Yeah.
Skip that to the end. Like we're not talking.
Okay.
We've broken up already.
Yes.
Which is also what has built your that aura that I feel from you. It's like y'all are thick skinned. It takes a lot to offend you. You don't got time for any of the bullshit, and you're just on your own route, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's lighten it up a little bit more. I want to talk about, before we dig into the last segment, who are your celebrity crushes? Who do you have? What is your type? Like if you're looking at someone on the screen, you would climb it like a tree?
Like because he's so hot with all tattoos, David Beckham for me. But really, my type is like what I see is like the perfect husband if they were taller. Oh my God, what's that guy's name? That one that used to do. So one of them, I just know his sitcom name.
Yeah.
Phil Dunphy from Modern Family. I don't know his name. And then
I don't know the actors.
and then there's another tall guy. Oh my God, I'm
So you like a tall.
I like a real tall, skinny white guy. Yeah, like and if they're nerdy, cool guys, regular salt and pepper is my jam. You know, like yeah. So like that's my gig. Like anybody that looks like physically attracts you. I'm attracted to a lot of different types of people. That like if I see someone that's like
It's usually
over 6'3" or 6'5", that is a slender, like you know, just has a certain look. It drives me crazy.
What about you?
I don't usually have any celebrity crushes, but I always thought Mario Lopez was so cute.
Really?
Yeah. And
so tiny.
no, he's your height. He's tall.
Really?
Fine. He wears all black all the time. Let me tell you. He was at the nightclub. He was in San Antonio for Latino Laugh Festival, probably in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And he was at one of the nightclubs, and he was in his little VIP area and getting, kisses from all the girls or whatever, or giving them kisses. And I said, I'm going to go get a kiss. So I walked over, and I said, I was younger, okay? And I walked over, and we might be about the same age, but he... I asked him for a kiss, and he gave me a kiss, and then I said, have you ever kissed a man before? And he said, no. I said, well, now you have. And he goes, oh my God. And he gave me like a little twirl like that. And he was like, okay. And then his friends were like laughing or whatever. But yeah, so I got a kiss from Mario Lopez.
Wow.
Is there your talent?
Like, okay. So do you like a Latin? You are like a Latino guy?
I mean, I do. I mean, I like all kinds of guys, but it's just that's the only celebrity I could think of that like people would know. But he's your height. He wears all black. Okay. He's tall, fine, full head of hair, gorgeous, muscular.
Yeah,
wearing tight black jeans and a tight black T-shirt at the cut.
This is the only one I could think of knows everything he's wearing. He was wearing Versace cologne.
It's with my friend Stacy, and she's like, "Girl, that's Mario Lopez right on the dance floor right next to us." I was like, "No, why would he be here? Why would he be here in San Antonio dancing with some Mexicans next to us?" And so I'm like, I mean, I'm Mexican. Yeah. So and I was like, "Oh my God, it's him! It's him!" Then he went to the VIP. I said, "I guess sorry." And I was like, oh, he's in town for the Latino festival or whatever.
Well, y'all didn't ask, but mine is Wilmer Valderrama from That 70s Show. I'm a
Well, he's kind of Mexican.
Yeah, super. And I met him at his book signing like a couple months ago, and I was in awe. Like I was rambling and talking, and he was like, oh my God. He goes, I like to talk, but I think I met my match. And his manager was like, and I was like, I love you. Like I didn't even know what to do. He had a book come out, and it was at a Nowhere bookstore off of Broadway. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of that bookstore. It's a very small bookstore, but they had like if you bought the book, you get to like but go to the back first. And my husband was like, like I talk about Wilmer Valderrama like all the time. So he's like really Fez, like from That 70s Show. But he's super short.
Yeah. From that show, I thought he was like, oh yeah, that'd be the one I'd hook up with on that show. Like,
yeah,
I like a guy like
not Ashton Kutcher. I'm not a white boy fan. Like you won't when you're telling me I'm like no.
Yeah, like a total
like I was never like a Justin Timberlake lover or like in my generation that was like or Ryan Gosling.
Well, it's because of people. I always say it's nature versus nurture. So like I grew up seeing that. Like so that's the guy. Those are the
I grew up on the side.
And I emulate like the moms of people that I went to school with.
I was in high school, girl.
Oh my God.
My God. Go. My diet. Okay. I'm a hood rat. A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. A little. Yeah.
No.
But sorry. We'll pause. No, you're good. Yeah, I went to McCullum High School. I graduated in 2008. But yeah. So y'all know, yeah. No, but yeah, I'm from the South Side. So that's another thing for me. Now I'm gonna ramble and then we have to wrap up soon. But I kind of, that's why some of the questions I ask you guys they're a little pointed in the sense of, because for me, I was always so conscious of like, oh my gosh, the people would be like, oh, you have a Mexican accent. And I'm like, it's a South Side accent too.
Okay.
And in college, people would be like, one day I was sitting in Spanish class and this girl, she was from Alabama specifically. And she was like, why are you in this class? And she had like this big country accent. And I was like, oh, because we got to learn Spanish and like, for the degree. She was like, well, don't you know Spanish already? And I was like, no. And she's like, well, your last name's Valdez and you have a she said Spanish. You have a Spanish accent. And I laughed because I know I didn't have a Spanish accent,
right?
But it was like my ghetto South Side accent, And so I've worked on trying to perfect that. So every now and then, if I'm around my family a long time, you'll get those things. They come out. Oh, they come out.
Or San Diego, and we walked into the mall, and this guy was like, the real estate dolls, and we were at Macy's or Nordstrom something, and he comes over and he goes, the real estate dolls. He goes, the dolls do it better.
You're like, are we at Antonio?
That's my favorite.
Dude, that's me. Like, I'm a hood rat snack. Give me the hot Cheetos and cheese. Like, that's so it shocks people, though, because I don't look like I should be. You know what I mean? But
when people, I can tell when people don't vibe with me, there's a disconnect because I think they have a perception of what they think I should be. And I get it all. I've gotten it all my life when people are like, what school did you go to? I'm like, Clark. They're like, oh.
Yeah, it's always jarring. It's a little jarring. When I think when you told me that, I was like, oh, it's not that deep for me.
Yeah.
But I ask, and then I'm like, oh, well, now I connected the puzzle again. Now it all makes sense.
See, that's how people connect the puzzle. Like,
you either know or you don't know it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And if you didn't go to high school, then what? They're like, oh, they know what?
This girl's real lost.
Oh, still lost, right? It likes all the numeric in her brain. Like, all...
That's why she has no personality.
Shut up. Okay. So to wrap up, I do something that is a little bit more on the serious side, but I do something with every single guest. Everyone's done it so far.
We're gonna do that.
Yeah. You have to. I know.
Gotta go back.
And you can look at me. You can look at the camera. You can look at each other. But usually, a part of the catalyst of this was, and I speak about it a lot, is Little Rueben. And you've touched on it. Both of you have touched on it. And like,
we still call you Little Rueben.
Oh, really?
I call you Little Rueben all the time.
Well, the reason, no. I bring it up a lot because I'm gonna do an episode by myself.
I saw your story that you've posted about Rueben. Made a whole video about it.
Yeah. So that is what is always driving my mission statement with real estate. Like, that is why, like, I use real estate as a vessel to inspire people, because Little Rueben didn't have that, right? And so I always ask my guests, if you could speak to little Jamie, if you could speak to little Cassandra before they were actually born, right, into who you are now, you can look at the camera, you can look at me, you can just talk it out loud, because I think that it's nice for like a time capsule when 10 years from here, when you are blown up and have your own shows and all the shit that's going to come with you guys, you'll be able to look back and be like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that I felt that at that moment, whether it be mental that you're going through, whether it be whatever, right? So if you could, what would you tell, we'll start with you at least, Jamie, or we can start with you, Cassandra. What would you tell the younger versions of you about where you are right now?
You want me to go? You want to?
Hard.
I would say probably like it. Not it all works out, but like to be, I guess, a very hallmark about it. Like, dreams do come true, or like it works out. Like the normalcy and wanting to be normal that you crave is truly just like your individuality. You know what I mean? Like, and it all kind of like what you want to be does.
Yeah, it's also
become. Yeah, like it, because it's just been such a struggle, and then it comes with age too. Like, being that I just turned 49 last month, so I think now I'm just like, well, this is who I am, and I love it, and I don't like punish myself mentally for things I've done or what I'm thinking or what I'm doing. So like it all just comes to be. Like it just works out, and then later in life you figure out like, oh yeah, this is gonna be cool. It's gonna be fine. Like. And you make a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And what about you, Amy?
I think it's so hard because, I didn't mention it, but Madonna was my inspiration. Like, how Beyonce is a big, and I know you like Kelly Clarkson, and there's like people that inspire us, right? I mean, for me, it was Madonna, but I remember, her story was that she was very fast. It was like, I had a big dream. I moved to New York. I worked really hard and my dream came true. And I just always thought nothing's going to stop me because of her. I just always thought nothing's going to stop me from doing what I'm going to do. If I want to be a woman, I'm going to be a woman. If I want to, whatever I'm going to do, I want to sell real estate, I'm going to sell real estate. So I would just tell my younger self, just don't let anything stop you. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Keep grinding.
Yeah. I mean, I think we should all be like that. Just don't let anything stop you from doing what you want to do.
It's rough, right? Like, I feel like as the years go by, I'm sure you guys have seen it too. Like with generations, we let so much of the outside, like almost like brainwash us in a sense. Like, yeah, there is a boundary. You can't go past that. You know what I mean?
I struggled with that for a long time because of how I grew up and where I grew up, and I still do. Like I have a car, like in my head I say, I have a work car that I drive to town, and then I have my car that I
roll
in Bernie with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, like if I could say anything to anybody, it's just like if you're in your head about you have to be, you should be, you could have been, like all of that, throw it all out the window. Just be.
Yeah.
And then things just start,
rolling.
There's no blueprint or
There's no rule book. That's one of the slogans. I'm like, and when people tell me like, Ruben, I hate when people are like, oh, it's going to be a little boy, let's get him. I'm like, there ain't no rule book. There is nowhere in the world that says it was a boy color. Like the silly example, but ask any of my friends and family, I'm like, says who? Like there is no rule book, right, on how we do this thing. So anyway, thank you guys for coming on. If you guys are watching on YouTube, listening on Apple Music or Spotify or Amazon or wherever you get your podcasts at, make sure you like this. All of Jamie's handles, all of Cassandra's handles, where you can find the Real Estate Dolls Next, are going to be on the description. And yeah, I'm happy that y'all came on. I think that this is a different dynamic than any of the guests that we've had, in the best way possible. And yeah, so I'm honored that you guys actually made time for me. And
always have time for you.
Well, I love you.
This is easier because we know you.
Yeah. Like you don't have to.
Yeah.
Well, we're always ourselves.
Yeah. But at least I at least know a little bit more from behind. Yeah.
And I'm glad you're doing this. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's over. It's off the Santera.
Yeah. Right. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.